Hey, what's going on, guys? It's frik, I'm back with another video, and today I have my build video for you guys. So, as you guys can see, I'm running Spellshot and Stabbomancer, but the thing to point out is that this entire build is pretty much built around Double Knot. So, after they updated it, if you guys watched my last video, after they updated the game for Coiled Captors, the DLC, they did something to this perk, they buffed it, or changed it, or did something to where it's going to dip into like your all damage dealt, so from your gun damage, spell damage, just from a bunch of different sources, and it's going to deal a ton of damage. So this build is primarily focusing on that, but if you guys wanted to say go for like Executioner's Blade, or I guess you wouldn't be able to capstone that coming down to Double Knot, but you could get down to like 1,000 cuts and take away the capstone over here. There's a lot of variation to what you can do with this build, and I'm going to be covering a bunch of different things you could do, but there's a lot of synergies with this build in terms of, doing extra gun damage or spell damage, and it working with your guns very well, or your melee weapon very well, or even the enchants on your gun. So there's a lot to be had in terms of damage from this build. It's going to be pretty much from the shadows exclusively. That's for one of two reasons. That's going to help us get our spells back with Sever the Thread, but that's not really the big point there. It's going to help us do a ton of damage with Double Knot and the Fear Knot here, which if you guys haven't seen my last video or my video covering Double Knot, be sure to check that out, because I kind of break down what's going on with the perk and just the amount of damage you can really output with it. But yeah, I'm just going to cover some of the skills, I guess. So we have Arsenal 5 out of 5, Haste 2 out of 3, that's just to get down to sneak attack here. Swift Death 5 out of 5, Exploit the Weakness 3 out of 3, these two pretty good perks, skills, but definitely going to want to get Arsenal 100%, and sneak attack. If you can get higher, go for it. If you don't want something here and you want something that I don't have, you can just move that around. But for the spell shot, you need magic bullets. You're going to want magic bullets. For this build in particular, you're going to want Font of Mana. Just warming up. If you don't have a class item with +4 like I do, you can put them, opposed to just warming up, into reload speed. Same thing if you want to run, well, I guess you probably wouldn't want Spell Sniper with this build. I could show you in another video how you could work that into your build and run Ambidextrous opposed to From the Shadows, but for today I'm going to stick to this. So yeah, just warming up. Glass Cannon, obviously. I have 2 out of 1 on high thread count. Obviously, if you can get that, go for it. So here, this is the one little bit of an interesting aspect. So it's only 8% extra damage. I could get it up to that 10%, which I probably will end up doing. I'm just going to take it off reload speed up there. But with this, I'm just fishing for any extra damage I can. So with my Buffmeister here, I'm going to cast a spell. It's Cryo. And as you can see, the two guns that I'm going to be primarily using, even if I use the Queen's Cry, or pretty much anything for that matter, I have, they're pretty much all cryo, so I'm going to be picking up a little bit of extra damage there. Obviously, as I said, this entire build is pretty much built around Double Knot, so you're going to want to get as much Double Knot as you can. I chose to go for a little bit of extra high thread count opposed to +1 on Double Knot, but I do believe I have a piece of gear with +1 Double Knot on it. 1 slot, 1 kill, that's just for a little bit of extra spell weaving. And then obviously Sever the Thread, gun critical hits, have a chance to at least instantly reset spell cooldowns. And so what's interesting about that is that my Buffmeister has 2 spell charges. So once again, gun critical hit chances are going to instantly reset my spell cooldown. So I'm going to be able to pop 1 Buffmeister, and then probably somewhere in that time of me shooting after proccing it in this 8 seconds that I have on the Buffmeister, I'm going to get my spell back from a critical hit chance. So it's just going to essentially just continue to replenish itself, and I don't know that I'll really ever run out of Buffmeisters unless I'm just like really going through them. But yeah, as for like the synergies with this build, the things that work really well together, it's going to be the Fear Knot and the Double Knot perk. Also with that, I have a Cursed Wit, so the damage that I'm dealing between the Fear Knot Pixies that are proccing the spell damage and gun damage, with the Double Knot, they're going to increase by 100%. So whatever I'm hitting for, whatever that number is, which is already a ton, it's going to increase by 100% just by me breaking my shield with the Cursed Wit. But I guess I'll go through my gear for you guys just one by one. So liquid cooling. I've on spell cast, increased frost damage. That's just my choice. Same thing here on action skill start, increased damage dealt by 20%. So the reason I have this on is because I have increased spell damage by 40% here when I pop the Buffmeister. So when I hopped onto a boss, those pixies are doing spell damage. So I'm increasing the pixie damage as well as increasing my total damage by being in my From the Shadows. So it's a little bit complicated, it's a little bit wordy. When I add some gameplay at the end, you guys will kind of see my process of when I jumped onto a build. But another huge piece of this build now is the Twisted Illusion. On top of that 100% that I'm getting from the Cursed Wit, I'm going to be able to get an extra 50% from the Twisted Illusion with the Soaked effect. So there's just a ton of damage to be had with this build, an absolute ton. And then obviously I have a Masterwork Hand Bow. I don't always run this because you can reload with a ton of other guns, but this is just a really quick way to get your spell weaving stacks. As for the rings, I'm pretty much only concerned about that spell damage. I guess it's nice that I have an action cool skill down rate. Actually, speaking of, I have to show you guys my hero points here. So I'm a village idiot, you guys can see the critical hit damage. I didn't go for any critical hit chance because I have it from the Shadows, and honestly, I just don't think it's necessary. I went for a lot of spell cooldown just because I like to have that up, but I may decrease that just because I have the Sever the Thread capstone. I may put that on skill cooldown, or honestly even max water HP. You could go for status effect damage, but I'm trying to get my damage from my guns and spell damage with the FEARNOT, so I'm not really too concerned about status effect damage there. But yeah, as for the rest of the gear, as I said, the rings, I'm only concerned about, I guess, I can show you here, I have one with gun damage. I guess I just flip-flop every once in a while. Definitely looking for that spell damage though. Here I have a smart armor, so this is another interesting piece. This is a absolute god roll. Obviously, I have that higher threat of Spellshot on there. I have +4 for the reload speed, +1 to the spell weaving stacks, and then obviously with the smart armors, you get an increased 50% crit damage. So that's also adding to that 100% and the 50% from both the Cursed Wit and the Twisted Illusion. And then we have the Buffmeister, and also I guess the Amulet, which is just all damage dealt, and then Frost and Spellshot. But yeah, the Buffmeister as well, which is going to add another ton of damage to the build. So as you guys can see here, it's pretty much everything is just synergizing with this double knot. I have the spell damage here to go with the FEARNOTs. I have frost damage on this to give me 50% frost damage. I have the spell damage on the rings. I have frost damage here on the amulet. And then I guess I didn't cover my melee weapon. I just have increased elemental damage. I also have one for all damage dealt. But yeah, I guess I'll just cover some of these other guns. I have the automagic, sorry. I have a Nightshade, Red Hellion. Yeah, you guys can just see. I'm not going to go through all of them one by one, and then I just have a couple extra things down here, just some extra, class items and shields and whatnot. But yeah, that's going to pretty much do it for you guys. As I said, I can cover how you guys can run ambidextrous with this, also with the Buffmeister, and run Smell Sniper here. Let me know if you guys would like to see that in the comments, but other than that, I'm going to leave you guys with that. I'll leave you guys with some gameplay, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Hey, what's going on, guys? So I'm here at the end of a Chaos Chamber, and I believe I have all the bosses lined up to kill. So I'm just going to go through some guns and some different ways to kill some stuff. So here we have Son of the Witch. Have him soaked. Actually might run out, but there you go. You guys can see it just absolutely melts. Now we just have to wait for him. You can actually hit him with the soaked before he goes to his next spot, and then watch the map, if you guys didn't know that. I don't think the soaked worked that time. That's alright though. Like I said, you can watch where he goes, and he actually might down me. So yeah, the pixies do a lot of damage, and then I just wanted to kill him quick because I kind of want to focus on the next few bosses, because they're he's a bit of an annoying boss, and kind of it's not really an accurate display, if you will, of the damage. So I'm gonna probably cut to when I'm going into the boss, just because this takes a minute here. So yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, so I absolutely blew the Barkenstein kill. I went down like 3 times, so we're missing one boss. But I'm gonna kill this one with the Fear Not again. Um, I'm sorry that I couldn't get that other one for you guys, but I absolutely blew that kill. So I'm gonna show you guys just how much damage you could do with the pixies here. It's pretty crazy. So I'm gonna hit him with a soaked, and then you guys will see here. Hit him above my side. Yeah, he's already dead before I could even throw a second one. And I'm still gonna go down. And I guess okay. He wasn't entirely dead, but you guys saw his health drain. And this is probably the boss that you guys care about the most. So you guys hear my From the Shadows isn't even up yet. There we go, it's up. And yeah, From the Shadows is up, and now he's dead. So yeah, this build is actually insane, and I actually might have. I do. Okay. So let's see. Soaked. No From the Shadows this time. And the pixies didn't want to target her. And here we go. We get the From the Shadows here now. Throw some pixies up there. And there you go. Since it's hitting the crits, now you can see the damage start to go down. So yeah, not the cleanest kills, but you guys can see the damage that can be done with it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know how much damage you guys are doing with it, because this is actually probably the most broken build in the game. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.